Hello and welcome to another episode of MOPO, where we discuss matters of personal opinion. It's all MOPO. Today we are sitting down at Dave Roach 83 and the scientist, to discuss the new movie Logan. Right off the bat, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I thought it was a fantastic movie. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best movie ever, but it was pretty good.
It was really good. And I really enjoyed the rawness of it. Like, there was a lot of close-up claws.
There was a lot
going into skulls.
Claws poking out of the side of skulls.
It was a lot of claw action.
It was pretty awesome. For the opening scene, like, he gets jumped or whatever, and, like, he's, like, even, like, up to, like, the last quarter of that fight was, like, yeah, you know, like, then they shot his car up or something.
He's like, it's a leash!
He freaked out and popped his claw. He couldn't even pop his claws out all the way, but they came out all the way after that.
Oh, no. I think it wasn't all the way, because even after that, he's, like, sitting there trying to pull it out, remember? Oh, yeah, by the way, I really don't care, but spoilers. You might as well turn it off now.
He straight punches dude in the head, and you just see three little, like, claw bits, like, poking out the other side of his head. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, right?
Like, that.
I was like, yes!
Like, because even back in, like, I think it was, like, X2. Because in X-Men 1, I don't think he actually let him kill nobody. But when he stabbed that dude through his chest or whatever, like, when they're in the X-Men, so I'm like, technically there should be claws poking out the back of this dude right now.
Oh, right.
And it's like, you know, badass and all, but yeah, Logan, they didn't pull no punches with that shit.
It was very gritty.
Yeah.
And especially since it took place in the desert, and that shit was very gritty.
It was gritty and dirty.
Gritty and dirty.
The little girl.
Yeah, which we've come across her like maybe a third of the way in.
Yeah.
Well, officially a third of the way in, it feels like.
Like, because I guess I was skipping ahead a little bit, but I just wanted to mention how badass this little fucking girl is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she is phenomenal. She reminded me of, like, a little luchador chick or whatever. Like, all kinds of Hurricane Ranas and, like, Frankensteiners and shit. Like, people don't know what luchador is. She reminded me of, like, a Mexican-style wrestler. It was really fast-paced and, like, all kinds of, like, acrobatic moves and stuff. And she was pretty crazy about that.
Yeah, it was wild. It was wild.
But basically, this movie was loosely based off Old Man Logan, a comic book that I guess around like 2010, I want to say, but I could be wrong. Where, like, in that comic, you know, you see old head Wolverine. He has, like, his family, and, like, apparently he killed all the X-Men, and he's, like, put himself in, you know, self-exile and just wants to be left alone. The story's like he hadn't popped his claws in, like, 50 years or something like that. Like, where he refused to pop his claws. And Hawkeye gets him involved in this mission, and they get money, and winds up, like, the Hulk has kids, and they, like, kill Wolverine's family.
Oh, shit.
And that makes him, like, go crazy again, and, like, it spans this, like, whole, like, comic book series where Hawkeye and Wolverine are, like, I guess, trying to get some semblance of justice in this, like, completely run by villains world now. But, I'm glad they didn't do that story. Because they didn't do that story at all. When I say this movie is loosely based on
it's the fact that Logan is old.
Yeah, Logan's old and they call him Logan.
Yeah.
Old Man Logan. That's it. It's like a name only, which is a good thing. What winds up happening is...
I guess they can't because he's not really tied into the Marvel universe, so they can't really go that Old Man Logan route.
Oh, they could have.
You think?
Yeah, I guess. No, it would have been hard because Hawkeye and Hulk And
like Hawkeye, maybe the Hulk, no.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They even had two totally different people play them.
Sure enough, and they killed
him.
One Quicksilver just to be like F you or whatever. But he's not living in exile, but he's hiding Professor Xavier with Caliban, who's like a tracker type mutant, who's played by Stephen Merchant.
I thought it was really good.
Right. I mean, we know him from the old podcast he did with Ricky Gervais or whatever. But he's like a longtime writing partner of Ricky Gervais, and he's been on plenty of things. Like he's
been in other movies.
Yeah. Like he did an awesome job. But I thought it was hilarious that he's not the same Caliban that was in X-Men Apocalypse or whatever. Caliban was in that movie played by a different actor.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, whatever, dude. Like, you don't even keep your shit together.
Well, that's because a different company owns X-Men.
No, that was a Fox movie.
Well, yeah.
So was X-Men. X-Men was a Fox movie. Old Man Logan was a Fox movie.
All right, hang on. Yeah, I was thinking this. All right, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
But,
that doesn't make sense at all.
But, because apparently Professor Xavier's the one that killed a bunch of X-Men because he started having like seizures and shit that affect like I guess a certain amount of area around him. I don't know if it's the whole world skitzing out or if it's just him.
No, I think it's like probably like a several block radius.
Yeah, because like they're talking about this incident in Westchester,
which is supposed to refer to like the school.
Yeah, it was at the school, and apparently like multiple X-Men died there, and just how the movie explains is eventually mutant.
But at the same time, like that wasn't one incident where like 100 people died, 7 mutants died. Yeah. So you assume it's probably like the 7 main characters.
It's like all the X-Men but Wolverine.
And then there's arguments that Jean Grey, if she's still around, she didn't survive because she would have survived because she's strong enough because she's the Phoenix. But the rest of the mutants were taken out because this doctor guy in this movie poisoned the water supply and all the food supply, like all the commercialized food. Like you're eating a bag of potato chips. You're a human, you're hunky-dory, you're a mutant, all of a sudden you come down with this crazy flu and die. Yeah,
and so, at this point, there's only Wolverine that we know about, Wolverine, Caliban, and Professor X.
Native-born.
Yeah, that aren't being created by this dude.
This doctor guy, the scientist.
Rice, I think his last name was, if I'm right, but that's not important, honestly. But because to Wolverine and Professor X and all that, they feel like they're the last mutants, and no new mutants have been born, sometime. But Laura, the X-23, the girl in the movie, has been able to mentally link with Professor X. And Professor X knows, he's like, hold on, there's like this new mutant.
Yeah.
He's like, there's one there. He doesn't know about all the rest of the kids, but he knows there's this one, and basically one of the doctors who are raising these hybrid kids takes Laura and tries to find Wolverine because they use his DNA to create her. And they use, surrogate moms who they kind of cheaply, write out, they were just, homeless Mexican women and they died during childbirth. And that's it.
Well, I don't even think it's they died during childbirth. I think they were just exterminated the second that they gave birth.
Whatever.
And it did seem kind of just, easy.
Yeah.
It's just women that we just kidnapped, and nobody's going to miss them.
To, put all this, fatherhood on Wolverine, that's your daughter. I didn't even jizz in a cup, lady. I feel, no emotional attachment to this girl. I realize that's my DNA, but, so then, later on, they get a proper clone of Wolverine. Is that my son?
Yeah.
Or whatever, come on now. Or whatever, I thought that was a little bit cheesy, how they tried to, manufacture.
Oh, how have you grown?
Try to manufacture this like feeling of family beyond the fact that they're mutants or whatever, like between the two of them. But it happens because movies or whatever, where he gets this emotional attachment to the girl, and
or at least he sees it as a reason to live.
Yeah.
A reason to carry on.
Okay, so
because he's poisoning himself with he's drinking himself to death, which is difficult for him. But at the same time, it's like partially working, and I don't know if that's because he's drinking so much alcohol, or if when he said, "Oh, something inside you is killing you," when that doctor that was trying to help, and he's like, "I know," and I don't know if he was talking about the adamantium.
It's the adamantium.
Okay.
Because even that other doctor refers to it too a little bit later on when, he confronts him or whatever. He's like, "Oh, I killed your dad, I think," or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah, I think you killed my dad." But, because his dad was the one who put the adamantium into...
He was Stryker.
No, not Stryker. Is this other dude, Reese or Rice or whatever. But Stryker was the one who put it... plans in, but the actual doctor who did it.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But yeah, like his adamantium that was killing him the whole time. So like
his regenerative power is just so awesome.
It was like keeping him alive for so long. But during the movie, we're kind of noticing like his wounds aren't really healing.
Yeah, around his knuckles where the claws come out, it's all like scabby and pussy.
Yeah, and like
oh, that was kind of like
he got like a nice cough going on the whole time, and like
blood coming out.
Scientists said, he's drinking like a fish, which ain't good for you. It's kind of like you're gonna live like longer, but if you get fucked up real bad, you're gonna die like anybody else. And unfortunately, by the end of this movie, what's happening is there's actual comic books. Like I thought that was pretty cool. Like
they're not real comic books.
No, and you can tell they're not real because of how the costumes look in the comics. Because I collected comics back in the day or whatever, and they didn't look like that. Anyway, I was mad. I was like, what the? But they made these comics for this purpose or whatever. And they're trying to get to this spot in North Dakota and go over to Canada to get salvation or sanctuary or whatever. And Wolverine's looking through this comic like, oh, these motherfuckers don't even know or whatever. And he sees that this area that we're trying to get to is from the comic book. And he's like, this fuck bullshit. Like, you got me running around and like looking for a comic book, and she's all like, "No, it's real." And
damn,
because she does, she starts cursing out in Spanish and shit. Like Wolverine don't speak no Spanish or whatever. But this little girl don't say nothing.
She really doesn't say anything
until I think she realizes she probably smell him dying or whatever, and she's like, "Look, if I'm gonna get there, I have to do this. Like, I have to start."
And she does, like she
doing stuff to get there because he's not gonna make it or whatever. And they actually get to the place, and her people are there. These new mutants, and they purposely say new mutants a lot in the movie because I'll get to that towards the end of our little review. These new mutants are up there, and but they get found out anyway. By the time,
because Dude Man finds
the comic. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, maybe I should follow this."
Yeah, he's like, No. He found the picture, and on the back of the picture, it had the coordinates.
Location, right.
So it seemed a little bit more legit. If he saw the comic, he'd be like, "Fuck it, for real. We're not going here."
Then he put two and two together.
Go to Nebraska
with my metal ass hand. But they get found out, and Wolverine. Oh, okay. So this whole trip, like Wolverine is all like, "Yeah, man. we gotta be on our high horse and, let's not dilly-daddle or whatever. And Professor Xavier's trying to, like, teach them life lessons, on the way to and fro or whatever. And it winds up costing them because they catch up with them before all the Eden stuff. And they send another clone of Wolverine out, and he looks like a young Hugh Jackman.
Like a young Russian Hugh Jackman.
His sideburns were really extra thick.
Were extra thick and dark, and his head was, like, closely buzzed and, like, black.
And the clone, the X-24, which never occurred in the comics, which I thought was pretty cool. They kind of made it their own.
Well, yeah, because this one wasn't born. This one was, like, test tube...
all the way.
Like test tube created.
Yeah.
Like 3D printed.
And he goes up and he kills Professor Xavier. He kills the family they're staying with overnight. Because they want to spend the night and shit. Like, it's telegraphed that this was going to happen.
I know. I felt so bad.
Yeah. But then, Wolverine starts fighting this dude. He kind of like is digging up in Wolverine's ass a little bit, but I believe he does get over on him.
No, because the father ends up crashing him with the car.
That's right.
And then, like, shoots him a bunch of times with the shotgun.
But she comes back from, but...
of course.
So then, like, flash forward to Eden again, and they're all trying to get away, and Wolverine basically helps them, but in the process, essentially gets killed by the X-24. Like, X-24 really roughs him up pretty bad, and he's carrying around this adamantium bullet. He's going to use it to kill himself because he don't want to live. Like scientists saying, this girl gave him a reason to live, so on and so forth. But Laura, the little girl, uses the adamantium bullet and pops X-24 upside the head with it or whatever, and kind of like Terminator 2 or whatever, like...
Which is weird, though, because if an adamantium bullet is what gave Wolverine amnesia in the first place, how did an adamantium bullet blow out half of X-24's head?
Because she used a Colt 45 to do it.
As opposed to what?
I don't know, like a 38 or a 22.
What are you talking about?
38 or 22 is just going to bounce around. Or they're going to pop out the back of your head. Like, that's why it looked like a hollow point, too, or whatever.
Well, it did look like a hollow point.
I don't think that was the same bullet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. We'll argue old school rounded bullet versus new aged hollow bullet.
Yeah, she popped half that dude's head off, or whatever, which was pretty cool.
Because the entire time, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this ain't gonna work, man. I'm like...
like, don't they know they tried this before?
Yeah, I'm like, didn't Wolverine know they tried this before? I mean, maybe not because he forgot.
I will say, like, the fight scenes in this movie are awesome, and it extends to the very end where all the New Mutants are, like, trying to fight off, like, the insurgents or whatever, and, like, the main villain, dude, Donald Pierce or whatever, had like the metal hand and just like hates mutants or whatever. The way those kids did him was like they had a lot of animosity towards him.
Yeah, that was just like they kept him alive,
like,
and they just like I don't know. We'll leave that to the movie.
You can see for yourself how they do him. Just say he don't go out in a nice way at all.
Yeah, it's almost like horror movie-esque.
Yeah, it's pretty gritty. The whole movie, like you said, has this gritty feel. But at the end, Wolverine does die supposedly, and the kids go off into Eden, and no cutscene at the end of this.
Oh my god! I watched till the very end, and then the lights come on, and I'm like, wait a second.
I understand, there's not going to be a sequel.
X-Men Apocalypse had one,
right? Like, you're not going to like do this New Mutants thing or Alpha Flight.
You're not going to hint at anything new.
Nothing. This is it. This is it.
Like, is this the last X-Men movie? Like, come on, hint at something.
No, there's definitely going to be a
yeah, but I mean, is this going to be officially the last X-Men movie? So why put a thing at the end? Because they could have put a teaser, like you said, of the New Mutants.
Yeah, because...
And just never make one of those for, like,
New
20 years.
Is a comic book series. under the guide of Xavier, which ain't gonna happen, but they can easily do New Mutants with these kids who become X-Force, basically. Or they can do Alpha Flight, which is what a lot of people think the kids are running into Canada for, is to, get saved by Alpha Flight and work with them. So who knows? I mean, that's just a theory. But I will also mention, at the beginning of the movie, they played like a teaser for Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Which, the way they played it, it was almost like a scene in the movie. And I thought it was really weird how they did that.
Really?
So
It
maybe,
didn't seem like a scene in the movie.
That's how it felt like to me. Like, they didn't put up no previews.
Oh, well, no, okay. It was just very abrupt.
And maybe that was the scene, but they did it at the beginning instead of the end.
To make sure everyone saw it. Because they knew that...
I think they expect everybody to wait.
Then they should have put that shit at the fucking end.
They still should have done something at
Because
the
they
end.
didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I was expecting them to wait to the very end of the credits, and then they cut to Wolverine's
And their
grave.
claw pops out.
Well, no, I was gonna... No, that'd be more like Freddy comes back.
Yeah, that'd be
No,
awesome.
I was expecting, like, the rocks to levitate, like in Superman.
Yeah, I think Wolverine's really done right there.
Or, like, rumble around or something. Like, but if they had pulled the adamantium out off his bones, just like if Magneto was just there and he was just like, "Ugh," and just like ripped it the fuck off him, it would take a while for his body to heal. But do you think his body would start to heal better?
Probably.
Do you think he'd become more healthy again?
Probably. That's what I would believe, because he's basically unkillable.
We just dig him up, Magneto the adamantium off of his
Magneto's
bones.
gone. Ain't no Magneto.
I mean, you just gotta be one of these new X-Force kids.
That have magnetic powers.
They got magnetic powers, or we just go to, like, Staples and we get a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of magnets.
Yeah. So the kids are running through the forest. They have the big fat black boy who can, like, breathe ice or whatever.
No.
I'm
He
not
could
running.
electrocute things. Because
Right,
the entire
right.
time I'm like, why isn't he doing anything?
Right. If I'm big and fat like that, I'm not running for shit. I'm turning around and
But I don't think he could lightning. I think he could just... Well, see, that doesn't make any sense, because they did say they didn't want to use their powers for bad. They didn't want to kill. And by the end of that whole skirmish, they were fucking shit up. I mean, dude, that girl who breathes ice...
Yeah, that...
Woo! I was like, oh, yeah! Holy shit! That was awesome! That was like some Sub-Zero shit!
Because the only other mutant that they referenced was the kid Richter.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was like
the
the
X-Force.
He was the leader.
Yeah, he like fucks with like Earth and shit, like vibrations and shit like that. Like you can move.
Oh, it was the
like,
girl who did Earth.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he does like vibrations and stuff.
Oh no, he's alright.
I really liked it.
It is a great movie.
I was so
sure.
sad at the end, and I was like, she's gonna say that John Wayne shit or whatever.
Bullshit.
I was like, I get it.
Yeah, because there are no more guns in the valley after that.
But yeah, because he
was the last one.
He was the last weapon. Well, no, because those kids are. I guess those kids really aren't weapons, though.
Nah.
Well, no, but she is.
She is.
She's the last gun.
Yeah, so the dying breed. That's why she said it. She's walking away. She's just like Shane.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, that's weird.
No, like roles reversed.
Well, not even that. It's just like,
dead.
whoa, man.
You're dead, clone daddy.
But I mean,
all in all, I mean, it's a
really
great
enjoyable movie
for sure.
I really hope that you saw it before this and you just appreciate the conversation. If you didn't see the movie before you listened to this, well,
that's your fault.
Yeah, because I told you at the beginning, and I don't even care about warning people about spoilers.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to be a little bit better about it, but I really don't care. And honestly, it's a really good movie. You should go see it anyway, because you don't know how
Yeah.
half that shit happened.
Right? We're not going into great detail with this shit.
Man, like, we may not be LeVar Burton, but you should definitely, not take our word for it.
Right?
Treat that shit like reading Rainbow. As with anything, like, so what someone told you something? Make your own decision.
Butterfly
Learn your
in
own
the sky,
things.
You can fly twice as hot.
Alright, that's all MOPO. That was our personal opinion.
On Logan. Let us know what you think. What's your MOPO on the movie? Do you think it was like the best superhero movie yet? Or do you think like it could have been a little bit...
I don't think you could say best superhero movie yet. Because, like, Marvel's cranking them out.
Yeah.
But, this is definitely a really great Wolverine movie.
I think it's probably the grittiest.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Because even like you said, he'd be stabbing and slicing people and you don't really see it.
Now, they focus in on them bits of claws sticking out. Like,
There was a slow motion scene that was really good. But yeah, so like, share, subscribe,
and yeah, we'll see you next time. Remember, it's all
MOPO.
It's all matter of personal opinion.